They always told me not to go there after dark. They warned me, pleaded with me, but I had to know why. Why did everyone who walked that old boardwalk at night never come back? The locals have a name for it. It's the Endless Walk. It's a place where the sound of happy laughter twists into terrified screams, and where footsteps just vanish into the sound of the waves. It's a story I heard my whole life, but one that a group of friends decided to test for themselves. One thick, humid summer night, 3 friends, Avon, Luke, and Marie, felt brave. Or maybe just foolish. They decided to explore the infamous boardwalk well past midnight. When the town was asleep and the moon was just a sliver in the sky, as they stepped onto the weathered planks, the fog rolled in from the sea, so heavy it felt like a damp blanket, muffling every sound except for the creak and groan of the wood beneath their feet. It was as if the boardwalk itself was alive, groaning under their weight. The sea below didn't crash. It whispered a hushed, sibilant sound, like it was sharing secrets of every soul it had ever claimed. At first, they were giddy with nervous energy. They laughed, their voices echoing strangely in the dense fog, daring the legends to be true. They joked about ghosts and sea monsters, their bravado a thin shield against the growing unease. That's when they heard it. A hollow knock, coming from directly beneath their feet. Thump! They froze, looking at each other. Evan forced a laugh, blaming it on the old wood settling. But then it came again. Thump. Thump. It wasn't the wood. Something was under there, matching their every step with an unnerving rhythmic knock. Panic started to set in. Their laughter died in their throats, replaced by the frantic pounding of their own hearts. They started walking faster, then jogging, then breaking into a full sprint down the seemingly infinite stretch of wood. The knocking kept pace. Thump, thump, thump. It was like their own shadow had gained weight and substance, relentlessly pursuing them from below. Every plank they crossed felt like it might give way, plunging them into the dark, whispering water. Up ahead, through the swirling mist, a faint light flickered. It was a single bare bulb hanging inside an abandoned souvenir shop at the very end of the pier. It was the only structure still standing, a skeletal silhouette against the foggy night. For a moment, it seemed like a beacon of safety, a refuge from whatever was chasing them. Gasping for breath, they stumbled towards it, their only thought to get inside, to put a wall between them and the horrifying sound. They threw open the door and scrambled inside, slamming it shut behind them. The air was thick with the smell of dust, salt, and decay. Cobwebs hung like funeral shrouds from the empty shelves. And that's when they saw it. Tacked to a dusty corkboard was a single, faded photograph. It showed 3 smiling tourists, their arms around each other, posing on the boardwalk. A man with Evan's mischievous grin, another with Luke's sturdy build, and a woman with Marie's bright, curious eyes. They looked exactly like them. Before they could process the impossible sight, the shop door, which they had just slammed shut, creaked open on its own. A cold, salty gust of wind extinguished the flickering bulb, plunging them into absolute darkness. The knocking from beneath the pier stopped. The silence that followed was somehow even more terrifying, and then a new sound began. A wet, dragging scrape. From the cracks between the floorboards, cold, wet hands began to emerge. Pale, bloated fingers reached up, grasping at their ankles, pulling, dragging them down. The air filled with choked screams as the hands tightened their grip, their touch icy and impossibly strong. They pulled with the force of the undertow, choking the silence, dragging them towards the gaps in the floor. Luke was the first to go. Sickening crack of wood, a final gurgling cry, and he was gone, pulled into the blackness below. Evan and Marie scrambled back in pure terror, but the hands were everywhere, reaching, clawing. By morning, the fog had lifted. The sun glinted off the calm, indifferent sea. The boardwalk was empty, silent. All that was left was a single shoe, bobbing gently in the water near the shore. The town still tells the story. They still warn everyone to stay away from the endless walk after dark. But sometimes, when the tide is high and the night is dead still, if you listen closely, you can still hear them. A hollow knocking from beneath the old weathered planks. Thanks for sticking with me through that chilling tale. If you love stories that will keep you up at night, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss the next true horror story.
Stay safe out there.